The year was 1346. Northern France. A summer sky hung low and heavy, waiting. Across the fields near a small village called Crécy, two armies faced each other, one glittering in armor, the other cloaked in mud. 30,000 French knights, banners snapping in the wind, their lances polished to silver. Opposite them, 9,000 English soldiers, weary, sunburned, hungry, and armed with nothing but wood and string. Everyone said the English would be wiped out before nightfall. They were outnumbered 3-1, surrounded, but as history would learn, numbers don't win wars. Discipline does, technology does, and sometimes arrogance loses them. Welcome to Obscura Vault, where we remember the battles that changed more than borders. Part 1. The Empire of Pride. In the 14th century, France was the greatest power in Europe. Its knights were legends, nobles wrapped in steel, trained since childhood to fight for glory, not survival. War was a performance. It had rules, etiquette, honor, and no one embodied that more than the French aristocracy. So when England's King Edward III invaded northern France with a smaller army, the French laughed. How could muddy peasants stand against the shining heirs of Charlemagne? To the French, the English were an insult, and the Battle of Crécy would be their lesson in respect. But the lesson went the other way. Part 2. The bow that changed war. The English didn't rely on courage. They relied on physics. Each English archer carried a longbow taller than himself, carved from yew wood, a weapon simple in design but terrifying in power. A single archer could shoot 12 arrows a minute, each arrow strong enough to pierce armor from 200 yards away. 9,000 archers meant over 100,000 arrows flying through the air before the French knights could even charge. It was death on repeat, a machine of flesh and discipline. Edward III knew what he was doing. He chose high ground, dug trenches, planted wooden stakes to break cavalry charges. And when the French began their attack, wave after wave of mounted nobles, the English line didn't move. They waited, silent, calm. Then the sky went dark. Eyewitnesses said it looked like rain, but the rain killed. Part 3. When glory turned to graveyards. The French knights believed armor made them invincible, but the longbow didn't care about titles. Arrows punched through steel. Horses fell, crushing their riders. Chaos spread, armored men drowning in mud, slipping under hooves, crushed beneath their own comrades. Those who reached the English lines found pits, traps, and cold blades waiting. By nightfall, the flower of French nobility lay dead in the fields of Crécy, thousands of them. Among the fallen were princes, dukes, and the blind king of Bohemia, who had charged into battle tied to his knights so he wouldn't be left behind. When the fighting ended, the rope that bound them together was still there, all of them dead, united in pride. Part 4. The death of an era. Crécy wasn't just another battle. It was a revolution in real time. For centuries, war had been romanticized banners, honor, sword duels between noblemen. But at Crécy, war became industrial, mechanized, mathematical. A bowman could kill a knight. A farmer could defeat a noble. And for the first time in history, the old world realized courage was obsolete. The French knights didn't just lose a battle, they lost the illusion of invincibility. And when that illusion died, so did the age of chivalry. From then on, war belonged to the strategist, the engineer, and the common man. Part 5. The lesson that echoed. The Battle of Crécy was a mirror of the future. Gunpowder would soon replace arrows, cannons would replace castles, and the same arrogance that doomed the knights of France would return in generals, in kings, in empires over and over again. Every new weapon begins as a symbol of power, but in time, it becomes a symbol of how easily power fades. Edward III's victory didn't just win him land, it reshaped the very idea of warfare. Crécy taught the world that innovation will always break tradition. And no matter how shiny your armor, that progress has perfect aim. Closing the field of lessons. By the end, over 10,000 French lay dead. The English lost fewer than 300. The world had changed, and no one realized it yet. Crécy became a prophecy that the future belongs to those who adapt, not those who believe they can't be defeated. History remembers it as an English triumph. But really, it was humanity's awakening, a brutal reminder that pride is the most fragile armor of all. This is Obscura Vault, where we don't just tell history, we resurrect it.